What up? Welcome to A2thaShow. It is me, A2thaMo, back for episode 49, and we're feeling fine. I thought it's been forever since I done a solo episode, so this may suck, but it may be awesome. It might just unleash. But if I could pull these sunglasses down, you would see the sleepiest eyes. I don't know what it is these days, this whole year. Just something about this year. Time doesn't exist. It's just zapped. And I don't know. Maybe I'm dying. That's my only, the only thing that makes sense is I'm dying and my body is just perceiving time differently as I approach towards death quickly. I feel like something I have to get right off the top. I've hinted at the last 2 weeks that I was like, I'm going to cancel the podcast. I don't think I'm going to cancel it, but after episode 50, things probably will be a little different. Shit might slow down a little bit. I got like, I guess it's technically a promotion at work, but I have to do more work at work. And it's a bunch of stuff I have no, if I have to be real honest here on the podcast with the only friends I have, I don't really know the stuff I need to know for the job. They're like, no, we'll teach you or whatever. But the pressure's on, and I'm going to have to figure out some extra IT shit, I feel like, on some home time. And I don't think I'm going to have quite the time to commit to the creative endeavors. And I really want to get back to making some music. And there's only so much time. So my goal is this will eventually get down to maybe once a month, maybe twice a month, something like that. But just whenever I can fit it in, if I can, I don't want it to quit completely. But, I know Soko's going to have an album coming out, and we're going to have him on for that. And, there's going to be a few times. And over the summer, I have different times off and stuff. So I might have some time to do some episodes there. But that's how it's going to fizzle out a little bit for maybe a little while. But stick around, check it out, find some other neat podcasts out there. So that's the big news. Now, the world news, cruise ships. Basically, there's like these two competing news stories. I think I mentioned the hantavirus last week on the podcast, and that was the news story going around. And now the sort of conspiracy theory is that they released that hantavirus story to scare people or whatever, but it was really to distract people from this other news story where 8 Disney cruise ships, according to the conspiracy theorists on the internet, 8 Disney cruise ships were, I don't know, I want to say arrested, but a whole cruise ship arrested. I don't know, fucking cops raided them or something and arrested a bunch of pedos that had worked for them or had ties to it or something. So basically, we're like, because for years there's been this theory that kids are kidnapped at Disney land in Disney World, and then they sold to Epstein or whatever the people say. And so I think this is kind of tied to that sort of thing. They'll be like, and guess what? ABC isn't covering it because ABC and Disney or Disney owns ABC, I guess, technically these days. And so anyway, it's just, that's a fun little news story, and it is good. It's just the same people sharing that were the same type of people that were like, release the Epstein list and save the children. And then some of that group are like, no, it's not that important because Trump said it's not that important. And maybe not. Maybe there's not that many of those people. It's just, what are they going to do? Go fucking cheer for the other side that calls them dumb rednecks? Probably not. They're probably going to stay on their home turf or whatever. But, it's just an interesting world. No one really cares about the children, I would say. Well, they don't care about everyone's children. Most people care about their children. They don't really care about like the world's children, I don't think. Or else we would care about child labor in other countries, but we really just care about child labor in our countries. And then only a little bit. You go to a convenience store and they got a little, whatever race kid working behind the counter. You're like, good for that kid. He's learning some stuff. You go to the Asian restaurants, they got, they're two little, this happens here in the town, man, where they're like American born kids who are like 10 are working the cash register because they're the only ones that speak English well enough. And there's a part of you that's like, yeah, they're learning work ethic, but really it's kind of fucked. It's just a lens that happens there, I guess. Anyway, let's see also happening in the world. Actually, one thing I want to talk about the cruise ship thing. So I know ruin my whole flow, but the television show Succession, great show. I highly recommend out there. The kind of downfall with it is it takes about 4 episodes to get into it every season. Like, it always starts off slow, but it gets really fucking good. So you gotta be aware of that. But in the show Succession, it is like a dramedy of like the super elite rich people. But there is a what's the word here? A storyline in like season 2 or 3 that is about the cruise ships. Now all these people have died or been sexually harassed or whatever on this cruise ship, and how they're trying to cover it up. And then I think they do eventually buy a news station to like. So it's just funny how it's like that kind of came. No, it came true, but very close to what reality is now. Other political news happening, something that doesn't affect me at all, but neither does the New York mayor thing. And people care about that a lot. The LA mayor. So in Los Angeles, they have a mayor race happening. And the most interesting thing is, for someone my age anyway, is that Spencer Pratt is is like a front runner. Maybe not a front runner, but he's like one of the top 2 or 3 people, I think, running for mayor. And Spencer Pratt was the villain character off the TV show The Hills on MTV back when I was in college. And now I didn't watch The Hills, but my wife did. Girls love Laguna Beach. I never liked it because I love the OC. And to me, the Laguna Beach was just a shittier OC. And they'll be like, no, but it's real. And I'm like, well, this is scripted and their acting is way worse. Like, I would just rather watch the OC. So I was always kind of a big hater on those shows. But I do remember watching The Hills with my wife when she was my girlfriend. And I actually was like really entertained by Heidi and Spencer. They were like the villain couple of the show. And so anyway, the Spencer guy used to get made fun of a lot on like The Suit because he had a blonde mustache. And as someone who used to be a lot more blonde, and it's gotten a little brown these days, but I used to be like, ooh, I guess I can't have a mustache if it's blonde. Like, I didn't realize everyone kept hating on this guy. Anyway, he's running for LA mayor, and he's just running on shit like, we should be able to rebuild our houses, and these wildfires are bad and the homeless are bad. And then I guess he's had to run as a Republican, but he claims he's a Democrat, but he's just running as a Republican because he has to, because the current mayor is a Democrat. And he's gotten quite a bit of celebrity endorsements. And then there's other people that'll be like, this is the dumbest fucking thing ever. He's a reality TV show guy, but our president was a reality TV show guy. So I don't know. I think it's that crazy. And if he speaks with the voice of the people and they vote for him, it makes more sense. Because I do remember the LA mayor, whenever I felt like it was a wildfire, whatever happened, and there was like some press conference, and it was very much like, oh, you gotta get the permits. And it's like, oh my God, I just lost my house, and they're all fucking bitching about permits. I probably would lose my mind a little bit. But hey, well, I know I'm just a dumb guy in Oklahoma. Speaking of the New York mayor, just saw a story. I don't know how true it is or anything, but whatever his deficit was coming in as mayor that the city had, he has already paid all of it off, and they're down to zero debt. And it's all off of that taxing rich people's second homes that are in New York. That I think I brought this up a couple months ago when this first got brought up, and everyone was like, you're just so stupid. Now these rich people are going to move out of New York and you won't get any of their money. And you're now getting a little passive income just because they forgot about the house or whatever. And at the time that did kind of make sense. I was like, I get what people's argument is. But now that it's kind of happened, or if it has happened, I also see the argument of like, no, these people are so rich that they actually don't care and they're going to pay it because they're so fucking rich. Like, there is this weird, like, we're always trying to protect rich people, and we're not trying to protect. It's that rich people have tricked you, poor person, into thinking you are rich. And so, I saw a stat. It's like, I think it's 82% of people in America make under $100,000 a year. And then most of those people, they act like taxing rich people is going to be this huge deal for them, when it's like, we're all poor. And maybe there's some idea that you don't want to tax them too much because they'll do something bad. But again, I think it always has worked for like when the poor just revolt and rip them limb for limb or put them in guillotines or whatever. Like, eventually we'll figure it out. But if they get to a point where like they have robot armies, and we probably couldn't take out the rich people. So that's why we gotta be careful with this AI technology, man. I'm telling you, I think we're just harboring our own extinction. And that's what every sci-fi thing that's ever been made about AI, future, and robots has told us. So, and I think we live in a simulation. So guess what? I think those stories are probably going to feed in the fucking storyline. There's going to be a goddamn Terminator. God willing, and the creek don't rise, or whatever the fuck it is. All right. There's also a weird political push. I probably should say this for Skinny in case she does it next week. But there's a political push to give veteran benefits to IDF soldiers. That is the Israeli Defense Forces, I believe. And I guess people are trying to get that passed through Congress in some way. And it just seems so crazy that it reminds me of this like sort of conspiracy about the Israeli government that I'm sure some people would say was a little anti-Semitic, but I don't think it is. But it's basically the idea that like the Israeli government does fund different things to happen that make them look bad, so that when people criticize them, they can keep being like, "Hey, that's anti-Semitic. You can't say that." And this feels like one of those moments where, like, no, we want you, a whole other country, to give your veteran benefits that you don't really give your veterans all that well to our soldiers too that fought in our army. Like it's a crazy thing, but apparently that's going around somewhere. Um, I saw also where Congress has passed something, and I talked about people at my job. I mean, I act like, yeah, they've heard of it. But the Congress passed something with cars where starting next year, all new cars are going to have a camera that watch you, the driver. And then it's going to be using AI to monitor you. And if you seem intoxicated or impaired, it can shut down your car. And I just think this sounds horrifying. I mean, I don't, again, did you not watch iRobot? You know, the car turned on Will Smith. He had to fucking jump out with his Converses on. So I just think this is all bad. I mean, it probably won't be an evil AI that kills you. It's going to be like someone's going to hack that shit, you know, and they're going to shut down your car, or they're going to be watching you doing weird shit in your car and then blackmail you with it. You know, it's just dangerous all around. I don't. And then what if I'm just erratic that day? All right, maybe I'm just really in a good mood, and this thing's gonna be like, no, he's drunk. I don't know. I'm not a big drinker and driver, so it's not that big of an issue for me. But I just don't like anything that's like, hey, we're gonna be spying on you in your personal space. Don't like it at all. All right, let's see what else we can talk about here. All right. There's this thing where all these scientists are dying, and I don't really know enough about it. I keep meaning to look it up, but you know, at this point, it's like 19 scientists, and I'm gonna wait till the documentary, you know. Um, but you know, these people, some will say they're making claims about aliens, or making claims about other dimensions, you know, random energy shit, and then all of a sudden, like within a week, they're suicided, and people don't know what that means. That means like they're saying it's a suicide, but people are like, I don't know, it's pretty fishy, and I don't know, you know, how accurate all this is, but we are at war with Iran, and I think we've killed some Iranian scientists to try to prevent them from getting nukes. And I mean, it could make sense someone would kill American scientists. I don't know. I don't know if that is a thing, but fucking sucks for you being a scientist. You're out there trying to study the ways of life, or how to destroy it, and then motherfuckers are gonna kill you. Send a message. I don't know. It's all strange, but people are talking. We'll see how much people deep dive that one. Something happened a few weeks ago I really wanted to talk about, but you know, I run out of time on these things, or I just forget. Is that Melania Trump had this press conference to talk about how she actually didn't know Jeffrey Epstein. And it's such like the fucking Always Sunny episode where Danny DeVito's like, we gotta tell them we're not pedophiles. You know, it's like, I don't know. There's just something about it all that is like, yeah, you should have done this. Fucking, it just reminded everyone, like, oh, there are a bunch of pictures about Melania and Epstein. And, you know, the guy that directed Melania's documentary that came out within this last year has sexual misconduct allegations against him, and pictures of him and Epstein with ladies on a couch. And, you know, there's enough things connected. And then like Trump telling Marjorie Taylor Greene he can't release Epstein files, going to look bad for his friends, which I think just means him. I don't know. It's just all pretty obvious. You know, it is what it is, I guess. Broken record over here. You know, Erika Kirk's been always in the news. I don't really care much about her, but she does have crazy eyes, and everyone always talks about it. And I got to mention what makes crazy eyes. I remember watching this thing about it a while ago, and it is, I think, accurate. But so, you know, you have the color part of on your eyeball. You should have an eyelid above that like makes it where you can't actually see the white above. Like if you can see white between your eyelid and then the color part of your eye, they say that's when you're in a state of psychosis. And it could only happen if you're actually having a psychotic break, or if you're forcing it. I mean, you can force your eyes to do that. You know, you don't have to actually be having a psychotic break, but those are like the two things. It doesn't just happen if you're normal. And so every time she does that stare in the camera, her eyes get huge and you can see all the white. And I think that's just why it reads to us. It's like, God, that bitch got some crazy eyes. Also, you know, of course, there's all these videos coming out of her I think there was like an audition for her going on The Amazing Race, and she's going to go on with her boyfriend at the time, and they're just saying and talking in ways that she doesn't do now. And I think the big issue, or why everyone's like she's a liar, hypocrite, whatever, is I guess in some interviews with Charlie Kirk when he's live, and they talk about how they met and her dating history, she just claimed completely different than what it obviously is. They have video evidence. So people are like mad Candace Owens is bringing all this up and trying to make her look bad. Like, how dare you? She's a grieving widow. But I don't know. I think it's kind of fair. I mean, it's somewhat fair game because she's public, but also I get how it's like, it's fucked up. But she's the one putting herself out there. She's going to White House Correspondents' dinners and throwing our goddamn concert and shit like that. So I guess I'm okay with it because I find Candace Owens entertaining and on the TikToks. It's the only place I watch it for some reason. There was another huge news story about this JP Morgan executive woman basically doming some young Indian boy worker. Now, I don't know at this point in time while recording if it's real or not. I've heard at first, all right, so the story comes out that this guy's like claiming this pretty hot executive lady at JP Morgan is like, you're my little brown boy and your fish-headed Asian wife doesn't have big cannons like mine. That was one of the quotes. And then you're like, no way a woman claims she has big cannons. That's something like a fucking Indian guy who's super horny says. Like, that's like was the go-to joke. And it was just hard to believe. First, not because there are races involved, but just the like, no, here's the evidence. She said this stuff. You're like, there's no way this woman said this shit. And then I guess the Indian guy has a corroborating witness that somehow knows about this. And I don't know whatever happened in the story, but it was very interesting. And I think there was a very similar thought process to when it's like hot teacher has sex with teenage student, where all the guys in the comments are like, I want to go to that high school. It was basically like all the comments are guys who are like, shit, I work at JP Morgan, because that's, we're built like that. Except this pussy ass Indian guy making complaints. But yeah, apparently fish head is like an old school Japanese, or I don't know if it's Japanese, but an Asian insult. That was something you say, which, to me doesn't read that way. I don't know if it's because they eat fish or if is it supposed to be they actually look? I don't know. No idea. But there you go. There's some old racisms for you. And then I guess I'm going to play a song. We're at that time. The first song we're going to go with, of course, is going to be from the homie Sir Nasty off of his newest album, Life of a Legend 2, out everywhere on Bandcamp, on the streaming sites. Go buy, go stream it. Support the cause. Support Sir Nasty. Name of this song here is I Am the Sir, and it is, of course, on A The Mo Makes Beats Beat, so let's give it a listen.
Yeah. Look, I told my baby mama's mama she is not an angel. She play with me again, that bitch is getting strangled. I told my kids I can't apologize. I know mama do no wrong in a child's eyes. I'ma tell the truth, yeah, we gon' keep it thuggy. And you know how I do, sometimes it gets bloody. I swore to tell the truth, even if it's ugly. Don't tell me that you love me if you don't love me. Murder man dance, daddy been a stepper. And I hit him with them red hot chili peppers. Gingerbread man, I raised my little brother. I'm trying to have some patience for my big brother. Rest in peace, Wanda, love my little sister. I need that DNA test for my big sister. Whoa. Y'all know I rap my life, and I'm still trying to give my wife a better life. Yes, sir. I love my kids. I love my wife. I am the sir. This is my life. I love my fam. I die for them. I am the sir. Bitch, I am him. I love my kids. I love my wife. I am the sir. This is my life. I love my fam. I die for them. I am the sir. Bitch, I am him. When I changed my life, I did it for my girls. I gave them a better life. My wife is my girl. She the only woman heard me say, I need you, girl. 300 years old when I leave this world. Come on, I do this for my nephews and my nieces. Okay. If I don't know nothing, I know Jesus. I know Jesus. I'm a king, nigga, nothing less. Nothing less. Joy is in my heart, I don't never stress. Yes, I got problems, yeah, I've been a mess. Gun in my hand, cross on my chest. Okay. Give up on my music, it was all a test. And graveyard can leave now, I wish you all the best. Bigger than y'all and it's bigger than me. Come on. God open my eyes, now a nigga can see. Okay. My niggas told me that they here for life. My fans told me when they listen, they can hear my life. The sir. I love my kids. I love my wife. I am the sir. This is my life. I love my fam. I die for them. I am the sir. Bitch, I am him. I love my kids. I love my wife. I am the sir. This is my life. I love my fam. I die for them. I am the sir. Bitch, I am him. The Don Sir Nasty, aka Jason Voorhees. Black Mass, nigga. There's only one.
Sir Nasty with I Am the Sir. Very good. Glad I sent him all those horn beats. He always kills the horn beats. He has the horn beats like the H2 is the guitar beats. These are the tricks, keys. Today the Mo makes beats. But yeah, I like that one a lot. I just think I didn't expect it to be that good. I guess I'm listening. I'm like, that beat kind of sucks. There's like some moments where I'm like, I don't know if I really did that good of a job. I think Sir Nasty made a great song with this. So what's it matter? You know, I've said many times, and not just me. If you go back and listen to beats throughout hip hop history, you will come across some shitty beats. One that really stands out because you think it's good is the beat for Grills by Nelly and Paul Wall. And it sounds good, but when you hear it just by itself, it's not as good. Same with I think it's Air Force Ones. I'm trying to remember. There's a couple of Nelly ones that they're awesome songs, but when you hear just the beat, you're like, what the fuck? It just, Nelly got on it and did his thing or whatever. So sometimes you just gotta lay out the paint and let those artists get creative. That's what I say. Speaking of artists, I Should Have Southern Comforts album mixed within a couple days. We got the last verse from Brad. Shout out Brad Zurich. And I listened to a card test a day, did one more round of notes. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm just going to send it to him and then be like, so that'll come out soon. Everyone be on the lookout for that as well. See what else happened. Sports world. The Mike Vrabel stuff. I don't think I got to talk about that because I H2 wasn't a big sports guy. And I don't think Snappy was here. But man, this is a perfect connection. So I'm just going to get right into the Mike Vrabel story. At the moment in football is the New England Patriots head coach. He used to be a linebacker for them. And before he coached for the Patriots, coached for the Titans. This is all important-ish. Has had all this stuff come out where basically him and this NFL reporter, I think her name is Rossini is the last name. I've only been reading it. I haven't really heard all these things, but they've had an affair, and there's different evidence of not evidence of them actually having sex, but them cuddled up next to each other at a bar or them in a hot tub together. People, I think TMZ's found them renting a boat 2 years ago to go on a romantic boat ride or something just all this stuff. Also, I think the biggest twist is when you start doing some of the math of some of the pictures, she was hanging out with him while she was pregnant. And then she named her son Michael. His name is Mike. Apparently Michael, you'd assume. And so we're like, oh my God, is he the father of her kid? And so it's just added all this drama in the NFL world. And people think he should lose his job for this. Now, by the time this comes out, he may have already or whatever. And I'm not at all condoning you should be cheating necessarily, but there is a weird fact of life thing, and I think the Black community embraces this a little bit more, but not completely. Maybe it's just how it feels in the pop culture or whatever, but Mike Vrabel was an NFL player, made millions of dollars. He might just feel entitled to the pussy. You know what I mean? Maybe he's I don't have to fucking be faithful to my wife. I am rich, successful, big, strong man, I did what I did, and I like, what the fuck? But everyone's treating this like, this is very bad because he cheated on his wife because he is married, and of course it's bad he cheated on his wife. But I'm just saying, I think maybe NFL athletes live by different rules than us normal folk would. But they're acting like he should lose his job, as his head coach job now, because of this stuff that has been happening over the last however long, or happened however long ago, whatever the scenario is. And I just don't think one has to do with another. If he got this team to the fucking Super Bowl on a week schedule last year. So I don't know. I think it's crazy. Also, the fucking owner of the Patriots got caught getting a fucking hand job in a rub and tug place a few years ago. So like, who's he to fucking fire this guy because he banged a fucking NFL reporter? I just think there's just all these moral high ground takes out there. And I'm not saying some people don't believe it, but there's like no way all of these fucking guys saying it, I don't know, feel that way. I don't know. It just seems strange to me the way it's covered. But maybe I'm wrong. I could totally accept being wrong on this one. Other sports. Oh, I knew I want to talk about it somewhere, so we're going to just sneak it in right here. Snappy has a lot of drama going on in his life. I actually haven't talked to him, so I don't want to like say too concretely. I need to text him. I just know there's a lot going on. He hasn't hit me up. So I'm like, listen, who knows? He might not have a phone or anything. I don't fucking know. But Snappy and his wife had shared a Facebook page forever, and I want to say years ago, I asked Snappy while on the podcast, and he was like, can't be trusted to have my own. I'm like, he was just real upfront with it. But about a week ago, his wife, his name was no longer on the account. His wife posted this thing of basically on Mother's Day, her husband, who was Snappy, approached her and said he had been cheating and he wants a divorce, which I don't know if any of this is true. Like I said, I'd rather hear it from Snappy himself, but that's crazy. I mean, I've thought about it every day since, because, I'm just like, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it because, I guess I can believe it. Takes back Snappy and his wife, as again, he's talked about it on this podcast many times. They started their relationship cheating on their spouses with each other. So maybe this is like totally believable, in that sense. But I thought they'd be together forever, I guess, was my insight or my take from my perspective. So, his big thing. And also, he was trying to buy this house. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just so curious when I talked to him, like what all happened, how it broke or whatever. So anyway, I don't know if we'll ever be back on here, of course, but I'll try to reach out to the because I'm slowing down this. We'll see what happens. But just if anyone's out there and you're curious, his life's changing again, and I mean, he's been through a lot in the last couple of years. So is she, of course. And, I'm sure it's all very hard, but that's just a real life shit. I mean, I've been like, God damn, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. It's like everyone I know has been married and divorced or whatever. And I guess he'd already happened to already, but it's pretty nuts. All right, other sports stuff. Oh, there's NBA draft lottery happened. The Thunder got the 12th pick. Could have moved up, but we didn't. People are mad the Clippers got the 5th pick because, or at least people like in my circles of NBA fandom, because it's like, well, they've been cheating with Kawhi or whatever, but who cares? I mean, it's all NBA draft's great. In the future, the NBA draft rules are changing. And I actually like the new things. Basically, it's like the 4 through 8 worst records have the highest odds to get the pick. And then the bottom 3 teams have a slightly worse chance to get the best picks. And so that should make it where like it's at least competitive to not be the worst. So like when the bad teams are playing a bad team, they'll at least like try to win, as opposed to fucking just sitting all their guys and trying to lose. Like the NBA in the regular season has that problem where there's lots of games where guys are not trying to win. And that just sucks as a sports league. That shouldn't be how it is. So I like the new rules there. All right. Video game stuff. We'll see what all I can talk about. Try to get, of course, a video for some of it. I don't have a video for this one, but Crimson Desert, I have given up on playing that at the moment. I mean, I do think it's pretty good. At first I started off like, I don't think this is great. And then it slowly grew on me. And they've released so many patches and updates to it. They're really changing everything quickly. But I just don't have the time lately to commit to this giant open world game. And I really want to. I wish I had and I'll have some time off this summer that maybe I can spend a day or two and get real into it. But I just couldn't do my short play burst with the game. It just was really hindering my experience with it. So good game just off that one at the moment. And then the game I talked about last week, I keep trying to plug away at it a little bit when I can. Again, not a lot of time, but this game called Saros, how they're pronouncing it. Um, I just don't. I hate being so negative about the game. My expectations were so high, and I love this game called Returnal, which was this company's previous game, and I just think this is a step down in almost every way from Returnal. So it's still a good game, and it is fun, but it's just not Returnal. And every time I play it, I have more complaints, and then I'm getting worse at the game because I just don't care when I'm playing it. So maybe it's just not the right time. Maybe I take a break and come back at a different time or something. But I don't know. The game just doesn't feel as fast. It's a roguelike, but it doesn't have like near enough variety on your pickups and upgrades that I feel like a roguelike should have. It's also pretty repetitive, even for a roguelike. Like the procedurally generated, it's not that fucking different. It's like all the rooms look exactly the same as every run. They just might be in a different order, maybe. And most of them are in the same order. So I don't know. It just Returnal was way harder, but I think the weapons were cooler, the power-ups were cooler. I just felt that everything was faster in Returnal. I know people said opposite, that this new one's faster, but not to me. Not to me, damn it. So anyway, it's a bummer. I'm a little disappointed with the game. I was so hyped on for the year. I thought this was going to be my best game of the year, and it just has not been that for me yet. Now, I am hoping that just something happens and I have a breakthrough, and I'm like, actually, this is awesome. I just didn't understand. So here's hoping, but man, it's not hitting for me lately. And then a game that I just can't quit playing. I've talked about it so much this year, but it's a game called Mugenics. It is a game I can play for 15 to 30 minutes at a time, and it doesn't bother me. I think I put in like plus 300 hours into this game. We're fighting cats and shit, and right now it's just really doing challenges. I mean, I still have one final story thing to do, which is like the end in battle to get there and all that, but I'm kind of trying to wrap up some of the smaller side quests to unlock different items and stuff. And if you beat different levels on hard difficulty, you get trophies. So I'm just trying to go through it, breed the best cats I can with the best mutations to allow me to fight the people, or creations, whatever the fuck I'm fighting. I'm fighting cats. I'm fighting weird hybrid things. We're going to the future. Fought a Hitler robot a few times. Great game. So shout out Eugenics. And that's kind of my game playing. Like I mentioned, I have bought Hades 2. I almost bought Doom 2016 Doom today because it was only $2 on Steam, and I was like, should I buy this game? I'll probably never play it, but it's only $2. That's how Steam gets you. They'll give you just, listen, it's $1 or $2, and all the time I'm like, yeah, why not add it to my library? So maybe I will. I think I still have 2 days until that sale goes off. But anyway, video games are cool. I'm just haven't got them in as much as I would like. There's just not enough time. And then whenever I try to force the time, like once my wife goes to sleep, I'm like, all right, I'm going to stay up and play this. And I just fall asleep. So if there was earlier Sarah's footage, I probably fell asleep playing that. So if I keep walking off a cliff or something, that's what was happening. I got narcolepsy, but that's when you can't go to sleep, right? No, maybe it's when you keep falling asleep. Insomnia is when you can't go to sleep. All right, of course. All right, let's see if I got anything else that seems real important here. Since it might be a minute until Soko's on, I haven't been watching very many TV shows at all. Actually, most things I've watched are like things I'd already talked to Soko about, but there was a show, Shrinking, that wrapped up, and I just couldn't get over the finale of the third season. Third season just felt a lot different than the other two to me. But everyone's basically just like the main character, who's Jason Segel, his wife dies at the beginning of the series. It's like the whole thing. And so it's been like 2 years since his wife passed, maybe 3, but I think it's only 2. And they're just all like, God, get over it. I mean, that's not what they're saying, but it's basically like the point. The point of the whole story is everyone like just can't believe he can't move on and date someone else or whatever. And it's like, his wife died. Like, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know if that's how it is in real life, but I can't imagine that. I mean, I had a fraternity brother whose wife passed, and he was in town, and he actually did get with another lady pretty quickly, but he had a young kid, and so I feel like it was. I'm not saying he is used them. I'm sure like when you have a young kid, there's probably more of like, we need a family here, like we gotta bring some stuff together, assemble. I'm assuming, is that what the Brady Bunch? This is super random, but were the other parents in the Brady Bunch is dead? Like, like there was the lady with the 3 daughters and the man with 3 sons, but they didn't have ex-spouses, right? At least not to my memory of watching the show. I was a big Nick and Not fan. So I'm guessing they were a widow and a widower. But I don't know. Maybe you need to go back and watch some Brady Bunch. I remember really liking the episodes that go to Hawaii. When those came up on the Nick and Night rotation, I was like, well, I'm staying up late tonight. We're going to get some Brady Bunch in. Wasn't my favorite, of course. Wonder Years was the best Nick and Night show in that era. I would say Three's Company was probably number 2 for me at the time of the shows they were playing. But Brady Bunch was pretty good. I mean, I liked it well enough. I can't believe, I'm sure I'm blanking on so many other great Nick and Night shows. But anyway, see if there's anything else I know. There was this show I tried to start watching called Funny AF on Netflix. And it was basically Kevin Hart trying to do Whose Line Is It Anyway? No, not Whose Line, I'm sorry. Last Comic Standing. And it's just not good. Like, the comics that they're like, and these people are awesome. I'm like, they're fine. A lot of it's kind of cliche and generic, whatever. And then Kevin Hart just so, I don't know if he's disingenuous and fake or if that's his real personality, but it's like, I don't know. He just seems so fake excited. I don't know. And I'm not a huge Kevin Hart fan. I watched the roast of Kevin Hart as well that just came out. And it was about Shane Gillis, so I'm a pretty big fan of. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to check this out. And I see him and Tony Hinchcliffe, another person I've watched quite a bit of their stuff. And they're getting a lot of shit for being racist. But I'm like, I don't know. I guess the argument is like they should be able to hate on the black people on panel without mentioning race. But it is all a lot off of looks. I mean, everyone kept, a lot of the jokes at Shane's expense were that he was racist. And when it was like, well, that's weird because he has a black guy that lives with him in his house. And maybe 2, actually. I don't quite know his full living situation. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. And Chelsea Handler, I thought was like really bad. And then online the next day, everyone's like, Chelsea Handler destroys. And I was like, were we watching this thing? Like, I used to like Chelsea Handler, and I'm not even saying she's bad or whatever. I just didn't think her set made sense. The thing that really didn't make sense was she got up there, and maybe it's because I'm fans of these 2 guys. She was basically trying to say that like Shane and Tony Hinchcliffe were Trump supporting like people. So now that there was a war, obvious, and then now that there's a mandatory sign up for the draft, they better go volunteer to go to the Middle East and not for a comedy festival. And it was like, boom. But neither Shane Gillis nor Tony Hinchcliffe went to the Riyadh Comedy Festival, which is what she was alluding to. But Kevin Hart, who's the main guy, and then Pete Davidson, who is like liberal, they did go to that thing. So like, I don't know, it just was opposite of what happened. And that seemed weird. And so anyway, it was just weird how people reacted online. And then Kevin Hart has like this writer that I'd never heard of before. And then he went in pretty good. He had a good set, but then at the end he started hating on Dave Chappelle and who wasn't there, and thought that was kind of strange. And then Cat Williams came out at one time, and he was probably the best part of the show, and he hated on Kevin Hart the best, of course. And he had, normally in a roast at the end you say something good, but he did not. It was just all hate. And then they acted like they squashed the beef, but it seemed pretty obvious that there's no way that's what was happening. But I do think Cat Williams is just jealous of Kevin Hart's success. I think that's pretty obvious. I know he like claims I just didn't want to do. I wouldn't be in the Hollywood elite circle. But I don't know. It seems like he just kind of wishes he got all the movies. Tom Brady was horrible. Tom Brady was actually the worst part of the roast, in my opinion. The Rock, everyone said was really great, and he was okay. I don't know. Everyone acted like it was, again. It's just interesting the reactions to the roast compared to what I thought when I watched it. So I hope they do more of them. I know that they say it's really hard. If they try to get Paul McCartney, was the rumor, and he turned them down. I'm sure it is hard to find super famous people that want to get made fun of, about for 3 hours or whatever. But I like them. I've always liked the roast. Liked them on Comedy Central. I've liked the Netflix one. I mean, 2 Netflix have been okay. I guess I actually didn't love the Tom Brady one just because all the athletes going. They're not comedians, so they're not that funny in general. All right, that's That's good enough. Let's play a song. Next song we're going to go with here is from It's Your Boy H2, who did call the podcast last week. So if you missed it somehow, go back, check it out. I don't remember what all we talked about, but you know, you can connect the dots, figure it out. The song we're going with here is off of his new album called Mo Bones. And I was trying to listen through and go through my notes of what we played before off of this album. So I don't remember how many, but I don't think we've played this one. So I try to look through, and I like this one off the album. So we're going to go with a Light Work by It's Your Boy H2. Let's give it a listen.
They asked me if I'm ready, threw me the machete. Freddy said he needed me to wake him up. My swings are deadly, daily departed. Fucking Arctica, nobody harder than cold-hearted. Guarded by a flatliner, calling me the Schumacher. Direct like Weston Chupacabras, come to your house and chew your mama. Lucid-dama, like I'm back in time. And half the time I'm laughing with the chance of lashing rhymes right above your eyes. And while you decompose, I high-five the flies with more fright than five guys. Hand-to-hand, face-to-face, hold the hole. I'm a perverted motherfucker, poking every spot you rot your soul and rockin' slow. I'm hood with it, knocking down the door. Nuts you're allergic to is misery if you mess with me. My life is when I write with knives across the board. No more disguise, you pay the price like Vincent H2. Michael Myers killing them with good riddance. I'm the dream weaver, please believe it. You won't make it through the night. Slice your eyes, you'll never see us. Gotta figure out how to cope with these rappers speaking out openly like they be knowing me. We all know I'm ugly, baby, ain't nobody holding me. And if you try it, I'ma fire at your ovaries and pounding bitches overly. There's a whole lot of dope in me, which explains why I be acting an ass all over beats. Cause I got the gall to whenever I fall through. Don't think I won't maul you, cause I'm so hungry my teeth look like they've been sweating. And any meds I'm forgetting, definitely my ones for regression. I gotta grip your attention and hold it for dear life like a venison recipe. I dare them come and step to me and bet they leave without any feet and probably not a leg. That's light work for any of you thinking you got me pegged as some sad sap that just raps about being all over the place but hasn't left his couch. I deserve an Oscar for all my acting out and being a grouch. Yeah, my mouth's constantly running, doesn't X out the fact that I'm sharp and linguistically cunning while feeling simplistically stunning. Are we filming or something? If you wasn't thinking I was coming, now you know that I'm gunning for all the money, land of milk and honey. Yeah, you probably find it funny, this game's just a dummy. I love making it talk and ain't taking shit from me, even if I decide to take me a walk. It's just to clear my head, it's busy up there and not sure if it'll ever feel dead. But here's the hope in the new world order, afford some light on my shit and brighten my path that I tread and just keep me from turning so red, unless it's leaked from the lead and peek from my head and leave theirs turning like I speak from the dead. Cover me with the white sheet, I'm a freak in the bed and bend these bitches heads back like dispensing the Pez. I rock a cow when it comes to rhyming, they do what Simon says.
It's your boy H2 with Light Work. Very cool. I like the beat. I made it, but still like it. And yeah, a lot of these, I think for H2, you can let me know, of course, put a comment on the YouTube video, whatever. I think a lot of these are, older verses, older recordings, even some of them just laid over these beats, that are at the same BPM. I was listening to Rap Nerd, who is he has a YouTube page, and H2 submits his music there as well. And so I was watching the review of H2's latest album, and Rap Nerd kept saying something like, man, I don't know how H2's catching this flow. And I think it was like he recorded to a different beat, and then we just laid it over one of my beats. It sounds different. And then it does sound crazy. We're like, man, how would he find that flow? But, it's a little trick, it's a little hack, and it's fun. Some good results there, I think. So anyway, shout out all those people. H2 always working. I think he has a whole other album. Maybe, I don't know if it's done or on the way or whatever, but I know he sent me a list, a whole bunch of songs that were done. And so, and I think he just sent me one for me to update my notes on some other shit. So always got the emails coming in. Gotta keep up. All right, let's see what should we talk about here at the end. Let's see. There's something to talk about for years is that we have this Ada Rants and Raves page, and Ada's the town man, and then Rants and Raves is a Facebook page. Most cities, I think, have these sort of things, and it provides me a lot of entertainment. To be honest, it's like people get on there and they bitch and complain about something. It's very rarely a rave, to be honest. It's mainly a rants, and anyway, people comment, and then the best part, of course, is the comments under the statements or whatever, and then you go through there and people. I guess what's like, and it's not kids today because Facebook is old people. So it's just the culture today is that everyone just kind of wants to argue or like take the opposite side because, what else they're going to do today? They're going to win a fucking virtue war on Facebook or whatever. And so the complaint that caught my eye recently or rant was, so I'm in a college town, like size wise, not very big, but it's not itty bitty. And we got some fast food stuff and shit like that. And but we recently in the last few years, our homeless population has increased. Thanks Trump or Biden, whoever calls it, I don't fucking know. And it's noticeable. Like in the morning, you'll see like the homeless migrating from one side of the town to the other, and lining up. We have a couple places that'll feed them, so it's like, well, keep being a fucking stray cat. So that was population, like I say, you notice it. And there's like a median at a one stoplight where this one, I'm assuming homeless, he might be fucking faking it. Might be like all those hypothetical videos we would see like in the 90s where like the guy would be begging and then he would go get in his Lamborghini and drive off with his free beggar change. But anyway, this guy's sitting in this median, not necessarily begging, doesn't have a sign. He's just kind of sitting there. And I guess maybe he's hoping someone throws him some food or money. But anyway, he's just sitting there and then he just has trash all around him in like the median spot. Right? There's probably 15 to 20 pieces of trash around this guy where he's hanging out. And then the comment or the post someone made was like, this guy should clean up after himself if he's going to just fucking sit in the goddamn grass all day, which I kind of agree with, I don't know. Just in general, I agree with that. If it was a normal person littering, you would be like, hey, they deserve a fine. But, and like, who the fuck wants to see this homeless guy and all of his trash right next to you when you're at the stoplight? No, that's my thought. And all the comments, or the majority of them, will be like, you don't know this guy's situation. He could have a mental health issue. And why don't you mind your business? Or how about you get out and clean it up? It's like all the comments were just about how this person's crazy to think this homeless guy should clean up his fucking trash. And then they're like all just defending, like, why don't you get out and ask him his story and help him out? How about that? And you're like, this is the craziest response. Like, I must be in fucking lunatic world. And honestly, none of those people would either. They don't even believe it. They think they can dunk on this other lady who is like, hey, look at this fucking shit. So that's just kind of the world today. Everyone is a better person than you, and they're going to prove it in a comment section, and not in real life, of course, but in like a hypothetical would-be world, they're a good person. So anyway, that annoyed me. But shout out the Rants and Raves pages everywhere. I saw Russell Brand. He went on like Pierce Morgan or somewhere, and he did admit to having sex with a 16-year-old. And then now people are like, pedophile. And now I'm not saying he's not, but I thought this whenever some of the Drake allegations came out as well, when someone said Drake wasn't a 16-year-old. But in England, where Russell Brand was, and in Canada, where Drake was, the age of consent is 16. And so I do think you should view it the same way as you would view it as someone hooking up with an 18-year-old. Now, a lot of people are like, that's still too young and that's gross and you're a pedophile. Lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers. But it's not illegal. And I do think, I don't know, it just you should view it the same way. And at least on a certain age. In the state I'm in, Oklahoma, what I was always told as a teenager, and I don't know how true this is or if it's still true or anything, but the like ages for who people could date, or I'm sure it's just sex more than dating, but whatever, is if you was 16, they had within 7 years. So that would be 23. So if a 16-year-old could date a 23-year-old and a 17-year-old could date a 24-year-old, up to that. And that was basically that was the loophole, those areas. But if it was like they were younger than 16, you can't. But I knew people, even in college, who dated like freshman girls, like girls under 16 when they were in college. And I would be like, that's fucking weird. And they'd be like, no, their parents are cool with it. That was always what the guy would say. And I'm like, no, it's weird because they look like a little kid. And maybe that, I don't know, maybe they've all lasted forever or whatever. Something I think about, hopefully not too often, but sometimes it came up the other day at my job because people were talking about kids today and their OnlyFans and how horrible they are. And I was like, well, I knew a guy and girl in high school who made their own sex tape, so I don't know if it was all OnlyFans, but I do remember. So there was a guy in my class and he had a girlfriend a couple of years younger than us, and they made a sex tape willingly. It wasn't like she didn't know about it. And it was like in that green night vision fucking look. And, they were really going at it, really showing off for the camera. But I remember the only time I seen it, I was at a party and someone had a copy of it and they put it on. And since I knew them both so well, and I'll be honest, before I watched it, I would have thought like, this will be pretty cool. But as soon as I watched it, like, my stomach started turning and I was like, ugh. And maybe it's because she was so young. And I was like, oh, I just didn't like it. It really surprised me. But I was like, I'm leaving. Like, room full of dudes. Maybe it was a whole room full of dudes watching fucking naked people. And I was like, gay. And so I got up out of there. But that night I left that party, and then the cops did show up like 2 hours later, and a lot of people got in trouble. So something my wife's really struggling in there with the dog. So I guess I need to hurry this up. Our new dog is crazy. She has some sweet moments, but she is nuts. She's very athletic, very rambunctious. She wants to eat and bite everything. Basically, my wife tells her no if she'll just start darting at my wife and trying to like alpha dog her. And I don't think I can interfere because I just, the wife has to instill her dominance. That's just how it's going to have to go. Or else when I'm not here, the dog's going to run the house. And then this summer, here in a week or two, my wife's going to be gone for a few, like 4 days on a work trip. And then next month, I'm going to be gone for 4 days on a work. And that's just a bummer, missing fucking summer spouse Tom, teacher of a spouse or a spouse of a teacher, in the summers. That's like the fun, cool versions of them, without all the stress of these fucking kids. So lots of traveling coming up. Lots of alone time with this dog. It sounds like the dog's trying to break in here too. So she's barking at the door. But anyway, all right, what else I got on this list? We'll get through. High school dances, or just dances in high school. Not really necessarily about the. Anyway, here's what I get to. I remember my friend do a great dancer. Him and Powwow remind me a lot of each other because they both loved baseball and they both loved to dance. They would just be dancing all the time. And Dew was like, and Powwow as well, trying to do like the hip hop dance shit all the time. And I remember so well Dew's little like dance battle move. And I'm sure he got it from like a You Got Served or something somewhere. But anyway, he had some move where he would do like hand shit, right? But he would go up to a girl and he would like take his finger and he would go underneath and act like he fingered her, and he would come up and sniff it and then be like, make like a gross face. And then he would pass the finger over to like me or whoever, would be in on the joke. And then you sniff it and then you fall down. Like, that shit was so gross. And it was like a killer diss to some bitch on the dance floor. That was a fatality, if you will. So if you're listening out there, the only dance move I had was with the 5950 hats, of course. I haven't done this in like 15 years, but I used to do this shit all the time. See how awesome, where I would just fucking, it was more of just an ADHD tick. I would just be doing it constantly. I'm like a fidget spinner, rolling my hat on and off my hand. And anyway, shout out dances. I wasn't like a huge dancer. Sometimes it would happen. I'd always do a little slow dance. Early on, definitely wasn't, fast song dancing. But as you get older, and then girls like, I'm just going to rub my ass on you. You're like, okay, well, I can stand here, I guess. But it wasn't a big dancer. Really wasn't my thing. All right, let's see. Anything else? You know what? I say, let's call it a wrap. This has been me, A to the Mo. So anyway, next week I'm gonna try to get skinny over here for our normal, episode every 5 episodes. And then after that, we'll see what the regularity will be. So sorry to any hardcore fans, but honestly, it might be better for you out there to have slightly less stuff. And I'm just not doing anything. I barely know what's happening in the world compared to normal. I know some stuff, and I just feel dumb and unproductive lately. It's like I just don't do anything. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe I need to start taking more vitamins. I'm gardening a lot out in the backyard, growing the plants, growing the flowers. That's a good time. Trying to figure out best practices there. My goal is next summer I'm gonna have me some big old raised flower beds, or gardening beds. I'm trying to do one of each, flowers and veggies, and we'll see. My backyard doesn't get a lot of sun. I mean, it does. It just one half gets it, one half a day, and the other half gets another. So there's not. I don't know exactly where I'd put the fucking garden, And maybe this isn't important at all, but I have this weird dream where can I make my own salsa by all the vegetables I grow in my own garden? This is the long term plan here. Is the Mo make salsa? The Mo make salsa. Damn, I'm gonna fuck that up. Mainly because I was at the Work Rouse Snake Hunt a few weeks ago, and I ate a sample of some salsa at a person's thing. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And my dad was like, oh, I'll buy some. And he bought the biggest fucking bottles or jars they had of this shit, and it was not near as good as the sample. And so now I'm like, I bet I could make some good fucking salsa. That's all I would start this salsa obsession. So if I have any essays out there with any suggestions on the salsa, y'all just reach out to me. I have no idea where to start, but by next year I'll figure it out, I think. All right. Song we're going to go with here is off of my newest album called Indifference. I think it's pretty good. No one's listening, but that's fine. I didn't promote it. I'm fucking shitty at this. But the album's cool. It's a little sad, but there's some fun ones. And I think this is one of the fun ones. It's called Come Through. And shout out Powwow on this one. I shout him out just right there on the hook. He plays a lot of adult league softball, and he's always posting videos of him hitting the ball at the plate. So that is the reference here. And I also really like, I hate when rappers do the I got a noun, verb, adjective. What's the subject and predicate? I hate rappers that do English grammar lines. And I'm sure you'll find some in my history because, you think you're clever at times. But I really like calling that out and acting like it's stupid. So shout that out. But all right, appreciate everyone listening. And I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. A2thaMo.
A2thaMo makes beats.
I come through, now I get to spin shit. Feel like power at the plate, I'm making hits and shit. I reference the homies, I don't give a shit. Not doing none of that noun and verbs, make a sin and shit. Fuck you, fuck your synonyms. I meet your girls and proposition them on pimp shit for some dividends. I be flowing how the river bends. Got my black friends looking and they calling me an in again. New rappers tryna taste the rainbow or they act like Eminem. Rewind that, yo bitches, I'm behind that. Someone like me, you can't find that. Bros hit my flows and they tryna co-sign that. I'm cold like that, grab a sweater. I stay stoned like Rosetta, y'all pray to me like A2 the Mecca. It's always a grudge match, I'ma hold a vendetta. If it's ever been fuck you, that shit won't ever get better. I'm the alpha and omega and the rest of the letters. Rapping leads the pressure, but producer leads the beggars. Y'all leading me, I'm like bitch, never get better. In the machine pulling levers, look around like what competitor. Come through, now I get to spin shit. Feel like power at the plate, I'm making hits and shit. I reference the homies, I don't give a shit. Not doing none of that noun and verbs, make a sin and shit. If they gon' start it, I'ma finish it. Bumping mini-me, they don't like me, then they gotta try to pretend again. Pressing they buttons, I'm trying to finish them. Fatality, dudes claim they got a personality, that shit diminishing. I'm authentic, admit it. I come quick when I'm up in it, just dismiss it. Smoking weed greener than raw spinach. like Popeyes in this bitch, yeah. I'm feeling big, my old cockeye in this bitch. Ready to die, seeing the light. Is it heaven or not? I can't decide. Heading to suicide, cause like I rap good. But need paper stacking up like scrap wood. Then there's also this whole thing, cause I got a cool wife. She be saying it's alright, why you getting depressed? I be saying I'm indifferent, cause I'm trying to say less. This is a letter for me that I gotta address. Really, all I can do is get on the mic and off my chest. So I come through, now I get to spin shit. Feel like power at the plate, I'm making hits and shit. I reference the homies, you know I don't give a shit. Not doing all that noun and verbs, making sin and shit. I come through, now I get to spin shit. Feel like power at the plate, I'm making hits and shit. I reference the homies, you know I don't give a shit. Not doing all that noun and verbs, make a fucking sin and shit.